These sorts of sash windows are very commonly found in this sort of old architecture that's really interesting to draw. But when we do draw them, we want to take every advantage to capture every sense of three-dimensionality that these windows give us. Now, exactly what we can do will depend on the size of the actual drawing that we're doing and the thickness of the pen that we're using. But first, pay attention to where eye level is. I've marked eye level on the drawing with a horizontal line and eye level, and it's easy to tell from the brickwork. It's where the brickwork is horizontal, and it lines up with the level of the camera that took the photo. It's not necessarily where a person's eyes would be if they were standing next to the window, because the ground may have sloped away or sloped up as it went away from the building. So above this line, every horizontal line angles slightly upwards, and it angles more and more the higher it goes. And it's the same below this horizontal line. So I particularly need to pay attention to eye level to get that mid bar where the top sash window ends, because is it horizontal? Is it slightly up? Is it slightly tilted the other way? Well, it's actually slightly up, but not much, because it's not much above eye level. So this is why eye level is so important, and there is only one eye level in one scene, regardless of how many details there are, regardless of where they are and how they're angled to us. And for the one object, all of the lines angle back to the one point. But in all likelihood, it's off the page. So we're not trying to work out where that point is, but it's the basis of the fan shape that all of these horizontal lines will create, with the vertical line on eye level. And as is the case here, there may not be an actual horizontal line there, except in the brickwork in this case. Great use for brickwork is to use it to really pinpoint eye level. And if the photo's cropped, eye level may be not in the photo. It may be above or below the edges of the photo. But the first three-dimensionality to capture is the wall thickness. Now, it's not the thickness of the entire wall, but it's the amount that the window is set back from the edge. It may not be, the window may actually protrude, in which case we bring the edge forward, not inwards. But in this case, the window is set in, and there's some beading around the edging. Now, the thing with two-point perspective is we have an angled view, which means we get to see the depth, but where we see that depth does depend on the angle we're looking. So when we're looking upwards above eye level, we see a depth line for underneath the horizontal pieces that come out. Below eye level, we're looking down on top, whether it's the top of the wooden pieces with the glass set behind, or whether it's that ledge that comes out, that concrete ledge that comes out under the window. If I were looking directly at this window, I wouldn't see any depth lines for the things in the very center, and very minimal depth lines as we had horizontal lines moving away. That would become more obvious, that is a thicker gap to the depth, as they moved to the left and to the right. But in this case, it's a definite angle, so we don't have that happening. But we always need to observe. Now, in this case, the depth lines are actually very thin, because the struts of the window, the supporting wooden pieces, don't come out very far from the glass. And so we could really just draw them by doing a thicker line on the right-hand side of the verticals, and on the underneath side of the horizontals above eye level to indicate shade. However, because of the way the light is, we don't have them in every case. So you can see what I've done and how I've done it. I'm drawing this directly in ink, so I don't have any pencil under drawing. I started with the window cavity, trying to get the proportions correct, and then I made sure I had my perspective angles. I made sure I worked out where is the horizontal line, or where would it be, and then I could angle slightly and increase in angle as the horizontals went above. This is a great trick for getting nice even edges to our hatchet when it's in small areas, but large enough that we need to do fairly fast lines fairly briskly, which is especially useful if we want to get a fairly pale ink effect. By doing the very fast lines, we get fuzzy edges and we get less ink on the paper, but it's harder to control where the lines start and finish. So if we want a reasonable expanse of a light to mid-grey value, then this is the way to do it. These are actually offcuts of the prints I do of the reference photos, and I keep them in a pile very handy to where I draw so that they're always easy to grab. And that way I'm not tempted to think, oh look, I'll just do it. And particularly when our white strips are as thin as they are here, even more important to do that. I'm just doing some lines now to strengthen the shadows that we can see of the underneaths as the horizontals go above eye level. I don't really need to draw the thickness, I can just draw the shadow on the thickness. And so that's a more subtle three-dimensional effect. And if I was drawing this on a smaller scale, then I would probably just draw those horizontal lines slightly slower to make them slightly thicker. I wouldn't do an additional line because I wouldn't need to. The whole idea is to take every opportunity that I can with the thickness of the pen I'm using and the size of the window I'm drawing to show these depth lines. And so having a good look at the reference first to see exactly how is this window constructed. How much wood framing is there that the glass sits in? And there's the wood framing that the glass sits in directly. And then there's the wood framing that the window framing, the wooden window framing sits in as well. And sometimes it's all very close together and it's hard to see it really as being separate pieces. And at other times, it's more noticeable and it's more important to capture the fact that there are multiple vertical strips of beading that hold everything in place. You're watching this in real time except for the hatching and for this brickwork. They're both double tone. Some little dots just to indicate the way the light is caught more in the shadows on the corners of the brick coursework. And you'll notice that I don't do as many vertical lines in the brickwork as I do horizontal lines. I'm not doing many at all. I'm really just wanting to suggest the detail. But I find that if I add more vertical lines, it just looks less realistic. And it's also harder to get those lines angled correctly. And now I'm just doing this decorative work on the top. For that slight curve that's at the top, very common, because this is two-point perspective, as we look at the width, it moves further away from us. The left-hand side is further away from us. And that means the center point of this curve is not in the center of that gap, but it's further towards the left. And if you go back and just have a look at me start that again, you'll see I kind of established the width and I put a dot where the halfway point in inverted commas was going to be. And it was not halfway, it was slightly to the left. And that let me line up both sides of the curve more accurately. You'll find a link in the description that takes you to this reference photo if you'd like to have a go drawing a sash window in two-point perspective and really capturing the sense of three dimensions yourself. G'day, I'm Stephen Travers. Hope you enjoyed this, but in the end, whatever you draw, however you draw it, make sure you have fun. I'll see you next time. Bye.